All right. Here we go. 3, 2. Hello, D-Gens. Welcome to Degenerate Takes. I, of course, am the Brofect one, AJ. Joining me, as always, man with the numbers, sportsbook whisperer, college basketball guru, daddy of the diamond, all hail the king of the links, the money train, Noah. And Noah, I gotta say, this is a very interesting episode for us. And I don't know if you've realized this yet, but I realized it when I was going through the numbers, handicapping the games and everything. I do believe this is the first time in our show's history that we both have a team in the playoffs.
Yeah, probably. No.
In our show's history, not since we've known each other, our show's history.
Well, no, because the Bears have been in it.
When was the last time the Bears made the playoffs?
I mean, the only year the Packers missed, I think, was 2022.
No, Noah. I'm sorry. The first time that both of us have had a team in the playoffs, meaning like you and I at the same time.
Yeah,
that's all I was saying.
But this is what, like year 6 of the show?
Yes, we're going into year 6.
So is this our 5th NFL playoffs?
This is our 5th NFL playoffs. We are going into year 6 when June runs around.
Okay, so 5th NFL playoffs. The only year the Packers missed was 2022.
And the Cardinals haven't made it. Bears haven't made it. Again, I think this is the first time in our show's history.
I feel like the Bears got in one year, though. Or the Cardinals did. Cardinals lost to the Cowboys one year.
Yeah, but I thought that was before COVID.
Okay,
Bears made the playoffs in COVID. We started our show in June of 2020. No, June of 21. Right? No, that's math.
Cardinals were in 2022.
We were? No, that was the St. Louis Cardinals.
No, Arizona Cardinals. They lost 34-11 to the Rams in the wild card round in 2022.
God, we really made that playoffs? Anyway, it felt like the first time that we've made the playoffs.
Well, the Packers missed in 2022, so they were not in the same one.
But exactly. Still, my point stands.
Cardinals, I feel like they made it in 21 as well, because I remember them losing to Dallas, I think, right?
We would not have made the playoffs 2 years in a row with Kyler Murray. We did. I know for a fact, actually, we did not make the playoffs 2 years in a row with Kyler Murray.
Cardinals made the playoffs in 2021, earning the 5 seed. Oh, no, okay, that's the same one.
Okay, we didn't need to go this fucking deep, dude. I was just trying to open the show with some nice, a laugh, something joyous, and then you gotta really just dig into the numbers like, no, AJ's saying it, so he must fucking be wrong. I mean, Noah, like, I know some of my shit. Well, come on, dude.
You might be right, because the one year that the Cardinals made the playoffs was the year that the Packers did not.
Exactly. So fine. How about this? You come on the show. Well, next Monday when we do the show, come in with a full report of the playoff history. I want NHL, MLB. I want everything of our teams in playoffs since we've started the show. And provide that to me.
I think there was a year early on where the Packers and Bears both made the playoffs because of the double doink.
That would have been before our show. We didn't do the show during the double doink. Double doink was before the year before our show started.
Was it really? Double doink was 2019.
Yeah, dude, that sound's been fucking haunting me for years, dude. Yeah, you made fun of me.
Double doink was 2018.
I was about to say we were fucking roommates when you started making fun of me for the double doink.
Love the double doink.
Fuck off. Anyway, thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. Shout out to everyone here on Rumble, over on YouTube, X. Y'all are the best. If you like what we're cooking, please hit that like button. Hit the follow button. It does help out a lot more than you know. My bad. No, I'll run by my numbers the next time I try to do a cute opening for the show or something like that. But anyway, we've got a what? Well, what did you find, Noah? Go ahead. What did you find? What did you find? Spill the beans.
The Bears did make the playoffs our first year of doing this show, which would have been our first NFL season. The Packers and Bears both made the playoffs. Bears lost in the first round in the wild card round to the Saints.
Yeah, with Justin. Fuck.
That would have been Matt LaFleur's.
Fuck off. That would have been LaFleur's first year with Rodgers.
Uh,
Before you drafted. Yeah, that would have been right before you drafted Love.
No, it would have been
because that would have been Rodgers' second MVP.
It was LaFleur's second season. Packers lost in the NFC Championship game in 19 and 2020.
Anyway,
I believe missed playoffs in 21 and 22, I think, with Rodgers there.
All right, well, I will start clearing our show's openings with you, Noah, because fuck me. My bad, dude. Fuck.
Hey,
anyway.
You know me well enough to know I'm going to fact check you on every fucking thing you say.
Yeah, but like when it's something dumb like that, Noah, just let it slide, dude. Let me open the show. Let me get some good vibes going because we're about to pick college football playoff semifinals. We're about to pick NFL Super Wild Card Weekend. Huh?
I said you and my girlfriend both probably agree on that.
Yeah, we fucking have talked about it before. Damn it, no. Anyway.
I can't help it.
I know, but like time and place, bro. Like when I'm saying, like if I came out and said something like, well, yeah, the Cardinals should start Kyler Murray next season because he's over X amount of years, he's thrown 75,000 touchdowns. Like, yeah, go ahead and fact check me then. Not when I'm like, oh, well, Noah, how you doing today? Did you know that this is a hard time? Because no one watching the show knows that. No one watching the show is going to go back to 2021 or anything like that. Anyway.
It might. You never know.
Then please comment on the show. Comment on the show how wrong I am. I would rather have that. Anyway. I'm sorry, Noah. I shouldn't be taking it out on all out on you. I'm a little frustrated right now.
You lost some bets today. It's okay.
No, not even that. I haven't. No. No, my dumbass bet on soccer. And so when I bet on soccer, I at least take draw no bet. No. I take draw no bet. I don't fuck around with the Chinese lines or anything like Asian lines. I'm sorry. They call them Asian lines, the three-way lines. And so I do draw no bet and they fucking tied. So it's fine. It's fine. That's why I don't bet on soccer. Anyway, besides that, Noah, no, I'm honestly a little pissy because here I was, getting ready for, our show, making our picks and everything for semifinals for college football playoffs, super wild card weekend in the NFL, and going through my timeline, trying to pick up injury reports, who's in, who's out, who's leaning, or if there's something else that's going on. And a guy that I typically respect, like a guy that typically has my respect as not only a content creator for how long he's done his show and the way he's been able to adapt over time, but also does have sometimes some good financial advice out there and everything like that. And then he comes out with arguably the most boomer statement of all time that just really got my blood boiling a little bit. Noah, let's go ahead and take a listen real quick.
The fastest growing addiction that is destroying young men in their 20s is online sports gambling. FanDuel is a portal to hell. DraftKings ain't king of nothing except their own pocketbook. And they're screwing an entire generation of young men because you don't win. That's why they can afford to buy ads. They're back to back ads every time you turn on a sporting event. They're spending billions of dollars. You know where they're getting that? It's out of your kid's freaking pocket. Because they're screwing an entire generation. This is evil stuff right here. The fastest growing.
Okay, so let me address a couple of things. Is there an addiction side of this? Yes.
I didn't know you were such a big Dave Ramsey fan.
Dude, I like Dave Ramsey. Honestly, like it was one of those things. Like my dad would pick me up from school some days and he'd be listening to Dave Ramsey or something like that. And so like it's one of those childhood things. And then he started coming up on social media and stuff. I respect the guy enough. But the only thing he got out of that point is that it can turn into an addiction and everything like that. And absolutely, there's examples like that and everything. And I think, with all the responsible gambling ads that are also coming on when these ads are on, I get it. Okay, I get that this can turn bad very fast. I think 99.9% of gamblers understand that. And that's my other problem with this statement. How fucking stupid do you think we are? Like, seriously, how stupid do you think we are? Like, you don't think that we know that it's gambling? You think I'm sitting here like being like, well, shit, got my paycheck last week. Here we go. I'm about to double it. Like, no, there are some people like that out there. Absolutely. But the majority of the population enjoys gambling for the fun aspect of it. And yes, are there people betting a ridiculous amount of money? Yes. Are there protections in place to make sure that they don't? Yes. Do the sportsbooks abide by those protections all the time? No, that's a whole other separate issue with compliance and everything like that. But again, like, there are so many other problems in the world, especially when it comes to money and it comes to our generation and everything like that. This is the least of our fucking worries, in my opinion. And the biggest boomer statement and the amount of Karens and everyone that jumped on this, like, hey, this is what we've been saying about the rock and rolling and everything like that. Like, shut the fuck up, go back to knitting and everything like that, and give us the one thing that makes us happy. Like, I'm so sorry. Like, don't get me wrong. No, I live a great life. I've got a beautiful house, beautiful wife, beautiful dog, all that. But, like, I had a hard day at work. I am very excited to bet on a bunch of 18 and 20-year-olds on the University of Arizona tonight to go out there and kick the shit out of K-State. And that's what I've been looking forward to today. Is that an addiction? No, it is just something I enjoy to do on the side. And I'm not going to throw my fucking paycheck on it because I've got a mortgage to pay. I got a car payment. I got insurance. Like, again, I don't, like, you make such a sweeping judgment statement like that. And it's like, no, it's a problem for some people. It's a problem for some stuff going on, but they're evil. It's a portal to hell. Like, kiss my ass, dude.
No, it's literally no different than
fucking shopping. It's no different than
no, it's
oh, come on, QVC, when they just keep throwing ads, then you just can call, oh, it's only 3 easy payments of $5.99, and then it's 15 easy payments of $3.99, and then you're paying interest on. Come on, kiss my ass with that. Klarna is the fucking bigger issue than FanDuel.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far, but it's when you start looking at all the other things out there, right? You got the lottery, you've got that's
scratchers, you've got
the casinos,
pull tabs,
booze, weed that's legal in a lot of states now. There's so many things that it can be an issue if you abuse it, but if you're betting within your means, if you're not going crazy, you're not doing anything like that, people.
But again, it's just like when we were in school and they had the whole DARE program and everything. It's like, let's take the absolute worst case scenario of everything and tell everyone that's the norm. You know what I mean? Like, that's normally what happens. Like, when you smoke weed for the first time, you're addicted. You're living in the van down by the river. You know what I mean? Like, and does that happen to some people? Absolutely. Like, is it the 0.1% of the 0.1%? More than likely, it's not the general population. But I don't know, man. I just feel like no matter what we do, we can't do anything right as sports gamblers. You know what I mean? We do everything legally. If anything, go after these fucking prediction markets and stuff like that with no regulations, no safety nets, know your consumer, none of that bullshit. I mean,
I don't know why.
Anyway.
I don't know why you're so worked up about this, AJ. It's one of those things you can easily just ignore people like that. And,
I know, Noah. I honestly, I had a bad day at work too, so that probably just pushed me over the edge. And it's like, really, dude, this is the one thing that, like, I do on a regular basis that I enjoy doing. That's a hobby. Like, can I not hear hate about it for fucking 5 minutes before I get fed another responsible gambling ad? Like, are you kidding me, dude?
Are you feeling shame?
Dude, yeah, but it's bullshit. It's like, oh, I'm so sorry, Dave. I'm not the perfect human who balances his checkbook every night, has a glass of water with an Alka-Seltzer because my fucking heart's, I don't even know, dude. I'm pissed. Anyway, Dave Ramsey on the no bet list. It's official. He's on the no bet list, Noah. He's dead.
Well, good for him, I guess.
Anyway.
I'm not losing any sleep over it.
Well, anyway, let's get into gambling. Let's start off with the college football playoff. No, we got the semifinals, and what a great week of football, if we're going to be honest. You got semifinals Thursday and Friday. You got wild card Saturday, through Monday. Great games littered everywhere. And then just for fun, you got college basketball all day Saturday as well. No, you got to love it. But let's go ahead and get into the college football playoff world. Noah, starting off Thursday night in the Verbo Fiesta Bowl out here in Glendale, Arizona. Miami, Ole Miss. Miami 3.5-point favorites going into this one. 52.5 is the total. You are looking at 57% of the bets, 56% of the money coming in on Ole Miss on that 3.5. But with the majority of the money coming in, majority of the bets coming in on Miami, 61% of the bets, 47% of the money. So a lot of faith in Ole Miss after their performance last week. Still some hate coming towards Miami. The public's still not buying into the ACC and that maybe that Miami is legit, Noah.
ACC's been looking fine in their bowl games overall, to be honest.
I mean, yeah, and like, what's that one conference where everything means more? How they didn't seem to win a lot of bowl games, did they?
I believe their record was 3-6, something like that.
I thought it was 3-7, but it might be 3-6. It's something like that.
No, it probably was because I think it was 3-6, and then Ole Miss got beat by Wake Forest and
not Ole Miss
or Mississippi State.
Yes, yeah, that's right. Mississippi State. And then that was 3-7. Mississippi State.
So hey, good job, SEC. You really
it means more in hypothetical matchups. Anyway,
and one part of that too is you had a Alabama-Oklahoma game where they went 1-1. Well, actually, they might be 3-8 because Alabama lost to Indiana.
Right, they are 3-8. You're right. I always have a problem if we count the playoff games as like bowl games or if it's its own separate thing. I don't know.
I mean, you look at conference playoff record as a whole. It's you got 3 wins and one of those was against one of your own. So
anyway, where are you on this one, Noah? Because this one seems pretty cut and dry to me. But where are you at on this one?
I think for this, you got what took until maybe a week ago to really fully realize is that Ole Miss is the best team in the SEC this year.
Yeah.
I think at this point, they have one loss on the season. It was in Athens to Georgia. They avenged it on at a neutral site. Man, they might be looking a little bit better since Lane Kiffin left. And yes, here's the thing. Shouldn't be that surprising because Lane Kiffin was not calling plays on either side of the ball. Yes, Lane Kiffin constructed this beautiful roster, but you got all the play callers still there. And no Lane Kiffin. You got Golding at the helm. And you know what? Pete's had this team looking real damn good the last 2 weeks, and I have no reason to believe that they will not keep it going. And yeah, Miami's won 2 playoff games. Good for them. I gotta say I'm surprised. Gotta say I don't think they really necessarily deserve to even be in, but I will say they look like they deserve to be in, obviously. If this one ends up being a high-scoring shootout, which I think it very, very well could amount to being, I like Trinidad Chambliss. I like Kyron Lacey in this Ole Miss offense to be able to, if that's the nature of this game, go out and just outscore Miami.
Yeah.
And this over-under feels criminally low for me. I know there's some people out there who are going to be like, oh, yeah, Miami's got a really good defense. And they're good on paper, but then, like, if you look at the games that they've played, like, they've had plenty of games where they give up 35, 40 points. And I don't think Ole Miss's defense is, like it's not anything I'm going to sit around and, like, be like, oh, yeah, this is a really good defense. Like, it's fine. It's decent. It's by no means great, but I don't think it's going to matter because I think they can impose their will offensively, and if that's the case and that's the type of game that we see, they're going to score more points than Miami. So I like Ole Miss on the money line here. I love the over.
Yeah, I think
I don't see a world where Trinidad Chambliss in this offense is putting up less than 28, 30 points. on their own.
No, absolutely. And I mean, talk about poster board material. Golding coming out probably at some practice or some meeting and saying, hey, by the way, the guy who brought you here, the guy who recruited you here, he didn't believe in you enough to win a natty this year. So he went to a different school in the same division, in the same conference, excuse me, to go win a natty. So, and like you said a couple weeks ago, Trinidad Chambliss probably would have won the Heisman if it wasn't for him not playing those first couple of weeks and everything like that. Yeah, Ole Miss plus the 3.5. Give me the money line. Absolutely.
Yeah, because he only started like 8-9 games.
Yeah, absolutely.
Had comparable stats.
Yeah.
To
100%. And honestly, let me be the first to say, Trinidad Chambliss, welcome to the Arizona Cardinals. I'm very excited to have you on. If you don't get your waiver or anything like that, I think you're going to look great in the red and white and black. It's nice here in Arizona. We'll get you set up in Old Town. Give me a call, bro. We'll have a couple beers.
Yeah, no, because his stats looked very comparable to Mendoza, to Sayan, to Ty Simpson, all who were on that Heisman stage. He just did it in 3 or 4 less games. So.
Yeah.
I'm kind of hoping they don't grant Chambliss that extra year of eligibility.
Let him orange now.
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, keep going. Sorry.
Let him go into the draft. Yeah, if he gets one more year in college, does the same shit that he's doing this year at Ole Miss. He's already said if he does get that year of eligibility, he is staying at Ole Miss. Could have a Heisman type of campaign. Will probably be a top 10 draft pick. This year, he might be a day 2 guy. He might be a day 2 guy.
I don't know about that.
Still gonna get drafted. Somebody's still going to draft him. He just might not be a first-round draft.
He goes to the natty with the numbers that he has. I don't see him as a day 1 guy.
You don't? Or
no, I'm sorry. I don't see him as a day 2 guy.
I still think he might fall to the 2nd or 3rd round, to be honest. There's just not much.
I would take him over Dante Moore. I would take him over Ty Simpson. I would take him over Mendoza.
What are the NFL GMs doing though? That's the key.
They're watching. Hopefully, the fucking scouts are watching tape at the Cardinals facility and getting that shit done. I mean, that's the guy I want if we're gonna go to the draft.
He's got some unreal talent. Yeah. Both on the ground.
He's a more developed Anthony Richardson.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know where are you at with this game, AJ? Because I like Ole Miss to win.
Oh,
maybe not.
Like I said,
I don't think it's going to be a blowout by any means, because the way I see this game going down, like I said, is this turns into a high-scoring shootout. And when it comes to looking at Carson Beck and the Miami offense versus Ole Miss and Trinidad Chambliss, Kyron Lacey, the great group of receivers that they have at Ole Miss. Not that Miami doesn't have great receivers and great backs too, but I just think at all 3 positions, offensive line might be the one where I gave Miami an edge, but you look at all of the skill positions.
Yeah.
I think Ole Miss has a slight edge over Miami at all of the skill positions. And if it turns into a high-scoring shootout, Ole Miss is going to be able to put up more points than Miami does.
Well, and that's just if we're talking about defense, Noah. And I mean, don't get me wrong, both defenses kind of give me the same vibe. Like they're able to, keep the team out of trouble, but not great. But I still give the edge to Ole Miss. And I mean, it's one of those, and I hate to say it because of how the SEC performed in bowl games, but iron does sharpen iron. You know what I mean? And, going up against a Georgia offense, going up against the Bama offense, going up against an A&M offense, like that does, iron sharpens iron. And so, versus Miami going up against the ACC schedule, give me the edge on the defensive side. Yeah, dude, I'm all over Ole Miss. I love the 3.5. I'm going to take that just because I see that as free money on the ground. And then, I'm going to be riding that money line as well. 39% of the bets, 53% of the money coming in on Ole Miss money line. So a lot of whales coming in and saying, thank you very much. I'll take that. Got a lot of
it. It'll be a tough fought game. I mean, I'm not counting Miami out from winning this. So, like, I'm definitely not taking any alt line. I'm going to take the plus money that you're giving me on Ole Miss. I'm not going to test my luck on that at all.
I might take a flyer on Ole Miss minus 6.5.
Yeah, you can do that. I'm not going to be
that.
Not going to be doing that with my hard-earned money.
Not with that attitude. Anyway, let's move on, Noah. We're not going to, I don't think we're going to spend a lot of time on this game. Let's go ahead and get to it. In the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, Oregon, Indiana, 3.5 point favorites. 48.5 is the total on this one. Where's the public? Where do you think the public's at, Noah?
I feel like they might be kind of split, which oddly enough, I feel like the public might be a little split on this one, which is crazy to think about.
Yeah, no, 66% of the bet, 68% of the money coming in on Indiana, and 77% of the bet, 65% of the money coming in on Indiana money line.
Yeah, the way I see it, in this one, only way Oregon has a chance is if Kurt Signetti's been so distracted by just bringing in, like taking big ass swings in the transfer portal, and then, oh yeah, shit, all of them are home runs. Like Signetti's out here at, fuck it, this is why it's like this is the new number one regime. This is the top dog, and it's only 2 years at Indiana, but I think it's been very quickly established as Indiana. Holy shit, are they the premier program in college football? And then you got Mark Cuban.
Yeah, I was about to say.
who comes in and says, oh yeah, I'm an alum of Indiana, and Mark Cuban's, he's given some money to their basketball program. Nothing like blockbuster, which he is totally capable of. But then it comes out that Mark Cuban, in the last week, has dumped or written a considerably sized check to Indiana football to use for NIL in the transfer portal. And yeah, they're probably going to go win the Natty this year. They're favored in this game. They'll be favored in their next game. And then now Mark Cuban's out here. Go spend some money, Sig. I like you. You're doing good with this program. The most monumental turnaround for any college football program we've ever seen. We have seen equivalent or bigger in college basketball in the same time frame. We have not seen a turnaround like this crazy in college football, and take the losingest program in D1 college football history, and now they've lost 2 games.
Yeah,
in the last
2 games since he's taken over.
One of those being a playoff game. Now you've won a playoff game. Spanking Bama 38-3, by the way. Coming in as a 3.5 point favorite against Oregon. I'm surprised that it's a 3.5 point line, considering Indiana beat them by 10 in their own building.
Opened up at 4.
And that game, the 10 makes that game feel a little closer than it actually kind of was when they played in Eugene. And
oh yeah, that was a fourth quarter, like, hey, garbage time, let's have some fun.
Yeah, Indiana had, 9 sacks in that game?
Yeah, it was dumb.
9 fucking sacks in that game. Really felt like more of a 17-20 point victory for Indiana. The final score says 10, but...
yeah, one of those, the scores does not tell the whole story.
And Eugene's a tough place to go into, to travel into, to play, because travel-wise, it's not logistically sound to get into. You're in the heart of opposing territory where there is not a single person who lives in Eugene who is not an Oregon Ducks fan. There might be a small handful, but you know what I'm saying. Like,
yeah,
Eugene surrounding area, it's 99.8% Ducks fans, and travel wise for opposing fans, you got to fly into fucking Portland and drive an hour and a half to get to Eugene. It's not easy. And now they're playing at a nice, easy breezy neutral site. I don't see any reason Indiana doesn't win this game by about 17 to 20 points, because that's what the first game felt like. They're playing again. Maybe Oregon wises up a little bit, but it feels like it should be a 17 to 20 point game to me.
Yep.
I'm going to take a conservative approach and say Indiana wins this by 10 to 13, similar margin from the first game. I think Indiana basically repeats the results of what the first game was in this one. Although the way their fucking defense has been playing in back-to-back games against Alabama and Ohio State, I don't see why they won't hold Oregon to less points than Oregon scored in that first one.
No.
Held them to 130-20 in the first game. I don't see why Indiana won't go out and just hold Oregon to 10 or 13 points in this game and then go put up a 30-piece on their own.
I get it. And I'm feeling the same way. I mean, I think again, like we've talked about a lot, it's hard to beat a team twice. And especially when you're going up against a head coach like Dan Lanning, who's being able to game plan and able to get the boys up and able to do all of that. I understand why the book has the line where it's at and why it hasn't really moved a lot. It's moved half a point since it's opened. And we talked about this
Oregon just played by far their best game of the season against Texas Tech.
Absolutely, 100%, Noah. And
it's going to go one of two ways. They're either going to continue that momentum into this game, or that game was an outlier and they played by far their best game of the season against a really, really good opponent in Texas Tech, and then now they're just going to regress back to what they have been. And I'm not trying to be mean to Oregon. It's just, we're just stating facts here. Oregon's defense has been a little bit suspect for a lot of this year. And, I think it's a blowout.
Well, Noah, if you would let me finish what I was going to fucking say, I would have fucking got there in a fucking minute. Noah, give me Indiana minus the 3.5. Give me them minus 6.5 on an alt line. And honestly, I'm going to take a sprinkle on 13.5. That's where I'm at with that one. Cool. You ready to move on to the NFL?
I am.
Let's do it. We've got super wild card weekend coming at us, Noah, and 3 days of NFL, 2 other days. That's 5 days total. You know how math is for me, Noah. Let's keep it moving. Rams, Panthers. Rams, 10.5 point favorites on the road here. 46.5 is the total. 56% of the bet, 60% of the money coming in on...
I'm really bad. Like I'm always wrong when you set me up for these. Like my brain's going okay. The public is going to be okay with taking Rams minus 10.5 in this one because the public is delusionally wrong on how good the Rams actually are. Not saying they're a bad team, but that's where I'm at. But I feel I'm going to say that, and then the public's actually on the Panthers to cover 10.5 at home.
Which they are on the Panthers to cover 10.5 at home. It's now moved to 56% of the bet, 60% of the money, which does do better for Rams bettors, as there was a stat that came out earlier this week that if the public was on a bet 60% or more, the book was some ridiculous amount of a winner on that. The book had a hell of a year when the public was all over one side. So just want to throw that little tidbit out there. Should also be noted that Devontae Adams will be back for the Rams in this one. No real injuries coming up as of this early on the Rams or the Panthers injury reports, Noah. I know you've got this hard on for the Panthers, dude, and I respect it. You were right. You were absolutely right. When we did our hot takes at the beginning of the season and you said, hey, don't sleep on the Panthers. Panthers are not only going to go over their win total, they're going to do even better. And they did even better, Noah. They made the playoffs. Bryce Young looks incredible. T-Mac looks incredible. Dave Canales looks like a genius of a head coach right now. But then you're running up against Sean McVay, Devontae Adams, Puka Nacua, Kyron Williams. And then a defense that likes to go head hunting. Go ahead and give me the Rams minus this 10.5. And I do think the Panthers will keep it close in the first half. I think first half is going to be neck and neck. I'm going to be sweating. But then second half comes out. Sean McVay, great with those second half adjustments. Give me the Rams minus 10.5.
Yeah.
And I think Devontae being back is going to be bigger than people are really like putting credit on.
Yeah, I'm not going to come out here and say that the Panthers deserve to be favored in this game. Like, my hot take at the beginning of the season was that the Panthers were going to win the NFC South and they were going to make the playoffs.
Here they are.
I didn't say they were going to be.
Obligations are done.
I did not by any means come out and say that they were going to be some earth-shattering, crazy turnaround team. I just thought that every other team in the NFC South was going to regress, or in the Saints case, they didn't need to regress. It was going to be hard for the Saints to regress off of what they did last year, but I thought the Panthers were going to take a step or two forward, and every other team was either going to stay the same or take a step or two back, and that kind of panned out for the most part that way. I think we're going to see a similar type of game to the first time these two teams played only 4 or 5 weeks ago on a rainy day in Carolina. I think it's going to be a high-scoring shootout, just like it was last time. Now, I don't think Stafford's going to turn the ball over 3 times in this one. I think that's going to be the difference between the Panthers winning the first one and losing this one. Is Stafford's not going to turn the ball over 3 times. However, this is a weird matchup for the Rams in one area that severely benefits Carolina. The Rams DBs, as good as they are some of the smallest DBs in the NFL. Carolina has a lot of really big frame, big bodied wide receivers that makes this a very weird matchup nightmare for the Rams to deal with.
How's that O-line for the Panthers?
It's been fine. It hasn't been good or great, but it's been fine. It didn't matter the first 2 times these teams played because
one time.
Or the first time. Give me a dose of my own medicine there. I like it, AJ. T-Mac, you talk about T-Mac, Coker, even Xavier Legette. I mean, you got a lot of, now they aren't big-bodied receivers, but they're tall, they're lanky, they got speed on them, and the height difference between the Carolina receivers and the LA DBs is a perfect storm. It's a perfect storm for Carolina, because of them not being big-bodied tall receivers. They're lanky speed type of guys, so you can't remedy that by trying to put linebackers on them because they're going to be too slow to hang with these receivers. These receivers are too tall for these DBs for the Rams. I think if you're the Rams, you got to just, and I know they don't blitz a ton. They might want to look at that. They might want to look at just trying to fuck up Bryce Young's day by just bringing extra guys on the rush because.
And I think they will. I mean, looking at the stats and everything, he was only really in trouble for a sack about 12 times in that game and only sacked twice. And he only went 15 for 20. So it really, again, shouldn't have been that great of a game for the Panthers whatsoever. But,
Stafford threw
3 interceptions.
Oh, I thought it was 2 interceptions and a fumble that he had in that one.
Let me double check. Yep, 2 interceptions and a fumble. My bad.
2 interceptions and a lost fumble. Carolina does have a good defensive line. If they can put pressure on Stafford, and I don't think Stafford's going to make as many mistakes. I do think it's totally in the cards that Carolina forces at least one, if not two, turnovers again in this one. I don't think it's going to be quite the same. They did take care of the ball well. They did need two fourth quarter touchdown drives that were led by Bryce Young and executed phenomenally, which I do think they're not going to have any problem moving the ball here against the Rams defense. That's what I'm getting at. However, I think the difference in this one is the Rams don't turn the ball over as much as they did in the first matchup. And they do get out of this with a win. I do think it's going to be a close game. I'm all over Carolina plus 10.5. Give me the over.
You're delusional. Next game.
I'm just saying, I'm saying 33-30 Rams win this one.
Next game on the slate, Noah, Packers, Bears. Packers, Bears. This line has been flipping back and forth. As of right now, the Packers are 1.5-point favorites. 69% of the bet, 63% of the money coming in on the Bears, with 70% of the bet, 60% of the money coming in on the Bears money line. And to everyone
so people hate their money.
I was about to say, to anyone who has put money on the Bears to win this game, to cover this game, to do anything remotely resembling a good game, welcome to Bears football. This is where we crumble. This is where the Packers turn it up another level. This is where Caleb Williams throws a couple interceptions. This is where we start looking at another fucking quarterback. I mean, again, I was talking to a coworker today, and he said, do you think the Bears can win? And I said, absolutely. If they run the ball 75 times and only let Caleb Williams throw the ball 12 times, I think that we have a real solid chance at winning. But let's be real. It's Ben Johnson's offense. That ain't how that's going to happen. The Packers are, I think, overall a better team. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. Give me the under 45.5. Not only are we dealing with a playoff game, we're dealing with a rivalry matchup in division. So give me the under in this game, 45.5. But give me the Packers on the money line here. No, not going to mess around with points or anything like that. But I do think the Packers go ahead and go into Soldier Field. And, they're like, oh, cute. Good try, Bears. This is a good one this time, but... That's no. Caleb Williams ain't the guy, and I think the Bears are going to prove it, unless Jordan Love decides to turn it over 4 times.
Jordan Love and turning the ball over is not really Jordan Love's MO. So,
just saying. I was just saying. If he does decide to do that, it's going to be a bad day.
No, the reality of this matchup, the reality of where the line's at, which was Packers coming out initially as a 1.5, 2.5 point favorites, depending on the book. It's flipped back and forth a couple times. Where's it at right now?
Still sitting Packers minus 1.5, and that's where it was at when I checked this afternoon.
Okay. I know it briefly for a day and a half got to Bears minus 1.5, but then flipped back to Packers being favored.
Well, that's what I want to know. What sharp came in and placed a bet on the Packers that it flipped again? Because, again, all the money and all the bets are pointing to the fact that the Bears, mathematically should be favored from what the public is telling us and from what the books typically do. And the book is staying firm right now at the 1.5 Packers.
I think it's because you look at, right, Packers lose 4 straight to end the season. Record doesn't look great. The Packers haven't looked great. Packers were basically playing their practice squad against the Vikings the last game of the season. So you can, you talk about 4 straight losses. You have to throw that one out. They lose on a massive special teams and, a series of special teams and defensive blunders in Soldier Field the game before, or 2 games before that, when they really were in control of 58 of the 60 minutes of that game and then just choked it away. And then Jordan Love had a concussion, so you're playing Malik, you're playing a couple other backups against Baltimore, and then give up, 1.5 million rushing yards to Derrick Henry. Last 3 games of the season were a little weird for the Packers. It was the difference between the Packers being the 2 seed and the Bears the 7 seed in this game, which probably would have been the same matchup if the Packers won that game in Soldier Field. Versus now the Bears are the 2 seed and the Packers are the 7 seed, but it's still the same damn 2 teams.
Yep.
Just the end of the season went a little bit differently.
So who's winning the game, Noah?
I think the Packers win in a close one. I do think the Bears are going to show a lot of fight. I don't think it's going to be a blowout by any means. Now, I could be wrong. This could be, 2 years ago in the playoffs where, first round where the Packers just came out and just shit on the Cowboys, who had a nice regular season.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be a close one. I do think it's Packers-Bears. It's going to be competitive. It's going to be close either way. I do give the edge to the Packers with Jordan Love coming back. Josh Jacobs should be healthier. I know the Packers, with the amount of players that they just did not play the last 2 weeks of the season, they kind of tucked their tail between their legs and said, you know what, we're okay with a wild card spot. We're focusing on having our team as healthy as possible in the playoffs. Yeah. Give me the Packers. The line is so razor thin that I'm okay taking whatever the line's at, and depending on how many points it is, I might just take the money line. We'll see. I think Packers win in a really tight one.
All right. Going to the Sunday slate, we've got Bills, Jaguars. The Bills 1.5 point favorites. 51.5 is the total. 61% of the bets, 59% of the money coming in on the Jaguars, with 56% of the bets, 69% of the money coming in on the Bills money line here. So the public essentially is split. This game is essentially at a pick'em, where you're looking at the lines and the odds and everything like that. It's essentially at the pick'em, and the public fairly split on this. God, I fucking hate when North teams go south for the playoffs. I hate that so much, dude. I mean, Buffalo's played nothing but snow games the last couple of weeks, and now they got to go down to Florida where it's humid as fuck and everything like that. It's a tough scenario.
That's a really good point that you bring up, AJ, which is funny because I feel like hive mind, public brain, it's like, oh, these South teams, it's so hard to go north in the playoffs. But you look at the last 5 to 10 years, and these cold weather climate teams that play a lot of their games outdoors tend to do a lot worse when they go down to Florida, when they go to California, when they go to Arizona,
it's a little warmer. The air's a little thicker. Everything's a little bit different than what they've been used to, what they're training for. Yeah.
Yeah. Feels like it's backwards of what it should be, but the last 5-10 years, that's what we've seen.
Absolutely. And don't get me wrong, like the last couple of games in Highmark have been how they should end at Highmark. Just absolutely miserable conditions. Let it snow, all of that fun stuff. That is going to be a hard adjustment to when you're going down to Jacksonville. And granted, it is a little bit chillier down in Florida right now, but it's not fucking negative anything. In Duval. I am taking the Bills in this one. And the reason I'm taking the Bills in this one is because even though the Bills have been stopped, in the AFC Championship game and everything like that, this team still knows how to win, and they know how to win games like this. They've been in this spot before, and Jacksonville just feels a little too early. It just feels like they feel like, and I know how good they are. I've watched them play. Trevor Lawrence looks great. The run game looks great. Defense looks serviceable, but like we've talked about, Josh Allen has to go Superman every single time the Bills have to win. And if there's any time Josh Allen is going to go Superman, it's going to be in the playoffs. So give me the Bills minus the 1.5. I think they take it no problem in Jacksonville.
Oh, God. So many of these, I can't remember an NFL playoffs where so many of these first round games have been so hard to
they've been hard to handicap. This is a tough year.
God. Yeah, well, and
the parity is real in the NFL.
I think a lot of that is all these lines are pretty razor thin, as they probably should be, other than one line that isn't, that I feel like shouldn't be, but, either way. God, this is a tough one. I don't think Jacksonville's defense has what it takes to prevent Josh Allen from being Superman. And I think the Bills win in a narrow one here because Josh Allen is Superman. Yeah, it's a tough one. So many of these games are coin flips. So many of these games truly are coin flips, this being one of them. I love how, all the posts and everything about, oh, Josh Allen doesn't have Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, or Joe Burrow to go up against in this playoffs. Yet I still don't think the Bills come out of the AFC in this. I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters. I think it's more of, I think that's more of a, look at what it is and, let's call it what it is. And it's that Josh Allen just doesn't have that. Not that it's necessarily him. It's more of a Bills problem, but the Bills just can't get over the hump. And I don't think it happens this year. I do like the Bills to beat the Jaguars in the first round on the road. I think it's going to be a tough-fought game. I think it's going to be a really high-scoring game, to be honest. I think there's going to be a lot of fucking points in this game. But I think the Bills end up scoring more. Josh Allen gets it done. And then they're going somewhere in the second round if they win.
Yeah, somewhere.
Where's that going to be? Who knows? It could be about 4 different places depending on how these the rest of these first round games go.
Well, let's find out. No, let's get into the rest of them. 49ers, Eagles, afternoon game for Sunday. Eagles, 4.5-point favorites at home. 44.5 is the total. 77% of the bets, 80% of the money coming in on the 49ers.
This line's
on this, huh?
This line was a lot. Opened up a lot there.
Opened up at 3.5, moving to 4.5 at some books. Money line, you are looking at 61% of the bets, 53% of the money on the Eagles. Noah, we are seeing reverse line movement with the 49ers. That is the definition of reverse line movement. Okay, public, you want to take these points? We'll give you even more points. Do you want more points? We'll give you a couple more points and we'll keep it moving. Keep betting on them. We'll give you all the points you want. Give me the Eagles minus the 4.5. I'm going to lock this in tonight before it gets to 6.5 or some bullshit like that. Might even buy it down a full point to 3.5 just to be safe. But I do think the Eagles win this game. I do not have faith in this 49ers team right now, how that offense has been performing, how that defense has been performing, all the injuries, all the inconsistencies. I think it finally catches up to them. Give me the Eagles here. Not shitting the bed yet. It's coming, but not this week.
Well, there's a reason the books have a bunch of people with PhDs, MBAs, all these other fancy degrees working for them. And that's why, this reverse line movement might not make a lot of sense, but I would be willing to bet
it makes a lot of sense.
I'd be willing to bet they have a lot more future bets out on the Eagles and a lot more money at risk on futures on the Eagles than they do on the Niners. So they are okay.
They got to make some money.
They're trying to juice up these lines for people to just take more Niners lines so that they're more balanced on what their total portfolio looks like. It's not just this game. That's why that makes sense to me. That's why it makes sense to you. And the books probably would be happy if the Niners win this game.
Oh, the books would be over the moon. I saw a interview today actually with a odds maker from, I think it was DraftKings, and he said, no, we're rooting for the 49ers this week big time. And that has nothing to do with public money right now, brother. Let me tell you that.
No, I'd imagine the books have a lot of exposure on future odds on Philly
to win the NFC and then to win the Super Bowl. And then probably Jalen Hurts MVP. You probably got a couple bets out there as well.
Buffalo, probably another team that the books have a lot of futures out on. The books are going to make a killing either way because all of the teams that probably were heavily future bet throughout the season, Philly and Buffalo are probably the two only big fish that are still. The Packers are probably another team that are still out there, but I don't think the books are overly as much as it pains me, are probably
seemed
not
like
overly worried about.
the bets on the Packers futures, I was tracking those. The bets on Packers futures definitely dipped after the Cowboys tie.
Oh, they definitely spiked the first 2-3 weeks of the season.
Yeah, they were all the way up there, and then they stopped. Oh, okay. No, sorry.
But you talk about throughout the season, a lot of the teams that were getting a lot of these heavy futures bets. Obviously, the Chiefs probably before the season. The Chiefs and early on maybe. Baltimore, Buffalo early on were getting a lot of futures bets in on. The Packers were. The Rams might be a team that's still out there that the books might be rooting against, but this is a huge one in the Eagles. Why we're seeing the reverse line movement. And
so who you taking?
Feels like another coin. Oh, God, this is another fucking coin flip game here. I could see either team winning. I'm going to give it to the Birds, given that they're playing at home. And I kind of love to fade Brock Purdy, so
that you do. That you definitely do.
I will give it to the Birds winning in a narrow one here at home against San Francisco.
Let's go to the next game. Sunday night football. Chargers, Patriots. Patriots, 3.5-point favorites at home. 46.5 is the total here, Noah. 63% of the bets, 63% of the money coming in on Patriots on the spread. 85% of the bets, 80% of the money coming in on the money line. You remember that fun little stat I told you earlier, Noah, about 60%?
Yeah.
Yeah. That applies here. And not only does that apply here, but don't get me wrong. I think the Patriots are a damn good team. I think they win this game. I do. I think they win this game, Noah. I do not think they cover 3.5. I really don't. And I feel like a lot of it comes down to, the thought that the Chargers are just going to charger. I can't remember the last time the Chargers chargered under Jim Harbaugh. It felt like a couple of times last year. I think maybe one time last year they chargered, but they haven't chargered this year at all. And I really think they have got a good group there. Love Omarion Hampton with him being all the way back. Justin Herbert's an absolute dog. The defense is solid enough. I think they put up a great game against the Patriots this weekend. And I'm on the Chargers plus the 3.5. I do think the Patriots win this game. No, I know I'm walking a tightrope there, but I do think that's how this one ends up.
I'm pulling the upset out of my bag here. And
I love it. I love it.
This was really hard for me to mentally get to this point because when you talk about teams that I do not fucking trust for shit in the playoffs, Chargers might be number one.
I would agree.
They might be number. I mean, it's hard,
I get it.
Right? Like the Vikings are one of those teams. The Bears are one of those teams, which I do take a lot of joy in that. But the Chargers are definitely up there. Like they're up there, if not number one. They love to choke in the playoffs, and unfortunately, the Packers also love to choke in the playoffs. Except for every once in a while, they get it done.
When you play the Cowboys,
but oh god, yeah, I think this is going to be an upset that the line should tell you it's not that much of an upset if it happens. But the public's so up Drake May's ass. I am a little bit too. He should win MVP, even though he doesn't have as many yards and touchdowns as Stafford. You look at completion percentage, QBR, that type of stuff.
Everything else, yeah.
Yeah.
Common opponents, yeah.
Yeah, but this is a matchup nightmare for New England. This is a potentially worst case scenario. And New England's defense isn't bad overall, but their run defense isn't great. They don't rush the passer particularly well. They rush a lot of 3-4 man fronts. Mm-hmm. They rush 3 or 4 like more than almost. So unless Vrabel is wise about this and decides to blitz a lot more than he does, which he may. I feel like this could easily be the Chargers just running Omarion Hampton down the gut like a shit ton.
I get it. Get it?
And this could be a really boring game. This could be a really boring game where the Chargers just grind out a win. And that's what I think might happen. I am going to take them to cover. I'm going to sprinkle it on the money line. I think the Chargers can do it. Like, this was, oddly enough, probably the perfect matchup for the Chargers, even though they're in the 7th seed and the Patriots are the 2. I think you'd probably rather play Pittsburgh than anybody else if you're any wild card team. But I think if you're the Chargers, Jacksonville would have been a much worse matchup than the Patriots.
Absolutely. Speaking of the Steelers, no, let's move on to the last game of Super Wild Card Weekend. Don't think this is going to take a lot of time for us, especially since U of A is tipping off in 5 minutes. Texans, Steelers. Texans, 3-point favorites here. 39.5 is the total. DK Metcalf will be back for the Steelers. They will be playing in Acrisure Stadium or whatever the hell it's called. And fuck it. It's still Heinz Field to me, damn it.
Bring back the ketchup. Fuck.
Bring back the ketchup bottles. God damn it. No, let's be very clear here. Aaron Rodgers, the Steelers have had a hell of a year. DK Metcalf's going to be back. That's going to be a big deal and going to definitely help stretch the offense down the field a little bit. Noah, the Texans checking notes. They do have the best defense in the NFL, right?
I believe they still do. Obviously, last game of the season there, and Riley Leonard
Riley Leonard, yeah, we didn't talk about that at all.
Probably inflated those averages, all the beautiful points per game, yards per game averages that they were giving up on defense, and then Riley Leonard comes in and says, "Now we're gonna pump those numbers up a little bit.
We're gonna get those up. Those are rookie numbers, kid."
For the sake of saving time, I'm not gonna look that up, and I'm also just gonna disregard that Week 17 even happened for the Texans, outside
18.
of the fact that they beat the Colts.
I agree. Give me the Texans minus the 3 here. I love the season the Steelers will be having. I do think they'll be even more competitive next year with Rodgers coming back. Yes, I do think Rodgers is coming back next year.
This is the first year in out of the, you look
he
at the
hasn't
last
said
2
anything
years,
about retirement.
the last 2 off seasons, and then going into this one. This is oddly between the last 3 off seasons. I'm gonna say this is the one who's most likely to come back, and I may be wrong.
Now the Steelers lose on Monday night and everything, and he's up at the press booth and everything. That'll be the first question. Is this your last year? Oh, well, I gotta go into the darkness and smoke my ashwagandha and take some LSD and really find myself, and then maybe I'll figure out if I want. Ayahuasca. What did I say? Ashwagandha. That's the good shit for you. My bad.
Yeah, it's good for you.
Yeah, ayahuasca. I mean, apparently ayahuasca is good for you.
Depending on who you ask, ayahuasca is
awesome. But yeah, no, probably one more ayahuasca trip and he can get one more MVP or Super Bowl out of it. Give me the Texans minus the 3.
I don't think he gets another MVP or Super Bowl, but I do think he comes back for another year. But Texans win this one pretty easily. It's a good matchup for them. The Steelers' defense has not been good. I think Bryce Young's going to carve him up. Or not Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud's going to carve him up. And I think Houston's defense is going to cause Pittsburgh's offense troubles. I like Houston in what I'm going to put my stamp on as the biggest blowout in the Super Wild Card Weekend.
Super wild card weekend. This is the best money split of the weekend, Noah. 53% of the bets, 66% of the money on the Steelers to cover the 3. 71% of the bets, 33% of the money on the Texans to win. 29% of the bets, 67% of the money on Steelers money line.
Why are the public scared of the spread on this one? Why are you scared of the spread?
No idea.
Like I said, I'm putting my stamp on this one as the biggest blowout of the weekend.
I get it, dude. But that is all the games that we have on the slate tonight. Do you have anything else before we call it a day?
I may be saying that because I might have this weird hunch that Houston's winning a Super Bowl this year.
Ooh, maybe.
That's my future pick. Spoiler alert.
I like it. I do think Texans make the Super Bowl. I'm seeing a Texans Seahawks or Texans 49ers type Super Bowl, I think.
Or Rams, or Eagles, or Packers.
Or Packers.
There's so much fucking parity in the league this year. We've been saying it since like week 6 that like, what the fuck is this year? There's no team that has ever at any moment for more than 2 weeks crowned themselves as the best team in the league.
Yeah.
So anything can happen, but
I get it. We'll see. But with all that, it's been great. It's been fun. If you like what we're cooking, please hit those like buttons, hit those follow buttons. Does help us out a lot more than you know. I'm the Brofict one, AJ. That's the Money Train, Noah. Enjoy the football this weekend. We'll see you next time on Degenerate Takes.
Bear down, go Cats.
Bear down, go Cats.